Thanks for coming down. Can I call you Tommy?
Yes, you may.
We're at
yes,
that point.
I was known as Tommy for the first 15 years.
Tom Morello is coming down to the Fox and hanging out. Thank you, man, for coming down. And you're pretty close to coming down and playing. You're playing for Occupy Vancouver.
I'm stopping by there before the show tonight at the Vogue. Yeah.
So we're actually going to play something, or is it more?
We'll see if the mood strikes me. We'll see. I have another sort of plan in place, which I cannot yet reveal.
How important is it for people to be educated as to what's happening in downtown Vancouver with Occupy Vancouver?
Well, I mean, it's as far as educated. I mean, I don't think it takes a tremendous amount of education to realize that there's something fundamentally flawed in the way that corporations have control over our governments and the way daily living for a lot of people. The people that own and control the world don't deserve to. They do so in the name of profit and at the expense of human rights and environmental rights. That's why I think you're seeing in over 1,000 cities now around the world. There are street corners, federal buildings, and parks being occupied by people who've had enough.
Are you surprised to see the reaction to Occupy Wall Street and what's happening, not just here in Vancouver, but this is 80-plus countries worldwide?
Yeah. No, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's... the fight for social justice starts when someone starts it. But another thing that's very important as well is every progressive or radical or revolutionary struggle that's been successful has had a great soundtrack. And so I think it's very important in times like these to be, there needs to be a cultural wing, and the Night Watchman is willing to
absolutely
to step into that arena.
I like that a lot. I think, Tom, the last time that you were in Vancouver, it was right at the cusp, right at the time when U.S. President Barack Obama was actually elected.
We were here on election night, I believe.
That's right.
I had to do a mail-in ballot because I was going to be here.
And how do you feel he's done as your president?
Well, I mean, I have to say, on the one hand, there was a certain amount of anticipation and hopefulness that it was a guy that looked like no other president, a guy that talked like no other president, but it's a guy that's acted very much like a lot of other presidents. I think that the Occupy movement is, in a way, a boomerang effect, from the progressive and the left side, saying like this just hasn't fallen the way we want to. But I've never been someone that believed that the way that change happens is from the top. When you see real progressive change, it always comes from below. That's what you're seeing these Occupy movements. I don't know what the future of it is going to be, but I know that it is so encouraging to see people on a global scale speaking out.
Yeah, and I was going to say that to you. Where do you think that this is going to head to? Like, where do you see this?
We're about a month in right now, and it's now in over 1,300 cities. So I think we'll see where we're at 2 months in. But it's great that there's a rallying place on a daily basis for people a wide range of people with a wide range of ideas and opinions on topics. But the one thing they haven't come. The thing that's interesting about this is that it's explicitly class-based. This is not an anti-war movement. This is not an explicitly like anti-racist movement. This is they've identified
classism.
They've identified that there's been at least in the United States, there's been a very prolonged and hard-fought class war going on. But until now, it's only been fought by one side. Now the other side's fighting back.
Is this a big enough issue? Is this you're gonna be like, dude, really? Is this a big enough issue for something that would evoke rage to get back, rock a show?
Well, we Rage played in July, and it's, Rage, we sat out the Bush administration, so I don't know that the Occupy movement in and of itself is going to get the band, but it is a band that I hope we play more shows, and if we do, there'll likely be some, but, I'm not going to start any rumors. There are no tours booked currently.
Okay, well, now we're at Rage. You notice how I got to the Rage.
Yeah.
What kind of update can you give us for people that are, like, dying? Because, your band literally is probably at the top of every rockhead's list of, like, wouldn't that be rad?
If
these guys...
There is no update. There is no update. If at some point in the future there are going to be more shows, it will not be kept secret. That much I promise you. Like, we will let you know. We want people to come.
Like, because I was digging through last night before and stuff. And I'm like, man, Tom's coming down. I'm stoked. And I was finding stuff like Microphone is a Threat that of course didn't make albums and stuff. Is there a lot of Rage material that could be released?
No.
There's not.
There's maybe 2 songs from the first demo, but those have been bootlegged widely.
Yeah.
We got just enough songs done to make each of those records. There's nothing. There's literally nothing. Yeah.
Wow.
The box set is going to be very, very short.
No.